Yeah, I did the whole countdown and realized I wasn't recording. But you know what? You guys don't want a countdown. You just want me to get right into it because these videos are over 20 minutes already. So let's just get into it because, yeah, we all know what happened. But we're going to try and go in order here. I don't have any notes because I was back home. I watched this episode twice, so I'm going to go off memory here. It might be a mistake, but we'll see. The episode starts with Nobara just not listening. Like, Nanami told her to sit this out. Now, this isn't like some offense thing. Megumi was literally on his way back to Shoko to get healed before he just dropped a Maharaga bomb on freaking Shibuya. And that whole thing happened. Itadori got possessed by Sukuna. Like, I'm not saying, I do think that out of our triplets that she is the weakest, but it's not by this great margin. She's experienced a Black Flash, she's seen the true core of cursed energy, and she also like helped defeat the two special grade cursed paintings. Like she's not that far behind Megumi and Itadori if she's behind them. I know she is behind. I know she's the weakest because, like, by default, one of them has to be the weakest. And I don't know, like, without Maharaga, I might pick her in a fight over Megumi, honestly. Like, yeah, he can do, like, a half domain, but, yeah, maybe not. Maybe, I don't know, because she does prove herself in the fight against the double. Now, I know the double doesn't have all of Mahito's abilities and is probably a bit weaker, but it's not like that weak. Like, it's not like some, you know, I don't know, man. I just love my girl so much. I love Nobara so much, and so they do this perfectly where you're like, don't go. Even, you know, again, I've been spoiled for this. I'll be honest with you guys. I've read, like, Jujutsu Kaisen on social media has completely ruined me. I know everything that happens in the rest of the arc. I know everything that happens, like, basically after this. Like, people cannot contain themselves when it comes to spoilers. There's no spoiler warning. Like, I'm telling you, don't ever interact with anything Jujutsu Kaisen on TikTok unless you want the entire storyline spoiled for you. The entire storyline. So I'm just shouting that out. So I knew what was going to happen this. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew what was going to happen. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic. But even if you didn't, you have this dread, like this pit in your stomach as she's walking away and the assistant is telling her not to go, and you just know something bad's going to happen. And like her facing off with Mahito, you know, double or not, it's a dangerous opponent. It, like, one, because he is very strong, and, you know, shape-shifting and transfiguring, even though I know it's the double, but just, like, she doesn't know that. But just the fact of, like, you can't hurt him unless you hurt his soul, and hardly, the only person that's been able to do that is Yuji. Like, Nanami and Yuji were able to jump him, and Nanami can cause some kind of damage to him, but not really. You're not going to exercise him unless he gets super weak from some other technique. So it makes him a super dangerous opponent. And she runs into him, and, you know, they're going back and forth. Meanwhile, Yuji is also fighting the other double, the real Mahito. And, like, there's, man, some of these civilian deaths are like, I just can't, you know. You don't ever get used to these deaths, you know, with the three people running and then they get, like, just skewered by Mahito. And then, like, and that's the thing, is that if I can't get used to them, I can't get mad at Yuji for not getting used to them either, but at a certain point, when someone gets skewered through the chest by, like, something that's, like, this big and, like, tossed in the air and thrown at you, I don't know if I'm going to, like, be, hey, are you okay? No, they're not. They're not okay, Yuji. One, if they just got hit by any random object that huge, they're most likely dead. And two, you know they got touched by Mahito, so you know even if they're not dead, they're going to be transfigured. Like, I need my boy to wake up a little bit, and he has moments, and he has moments in this episode, and he had moments in the last episode where, like, I think he's gotten by it, and then he just relapses, and I can't fault him because he's a 15-year-old kid that has the biggest heart and the most empathy, so I can't, like, get mad at him, but I just want, like, the best for him in this fight, and he keeps losing focus, and, you know, it gets to a point where Mahito's about to just, like, spike club him with his fist, because he, like, explodes one person and Yuji can't see. And then meanwhile, we go back to Nobara fighting the double, and she realizes he's a double, and Nobara, like, everybody underestimates this girl, and you underestimate Nobara at your own freaking peril, because she's, like, you know, throwing, you know, hairpins at him, hammers at him, nails at him, and then suddenly he doesn't see that all these nails are at his feet. Resonance, spikes one in his freaking forehead, and this is how good Nobara is. Like, I saw a TikTok that she's like, oh, she's fodder, like, she's not as good, and, like, stop it, she just needed time, and that's okay, but also I understand that if you need time, you can't go back into the fray of Shibuya when you see what's going on. She walks through the freaking the veil, and you see what has happened to Shibuya. Just, you have to have some sense of self and self-preservation. Sorry, I know my hair's a mess right now. Self-preservation, and turn right around and be like, you know what? I'm gonna live to fight another day. It's so easy for me to say as a third person. Oh my gosh, it's this one hurt, y'all. This one hurt way worse than Nanami. But she hits him with a resonance, and the resonance spike that killed, you know, the two cursed paintings, spiked through the real Mahito, not the double, and she realizes, like, hey, you hit me once, and I haven't been transfigured yet, and also, I felt my curse energy spike a ways away, so you're a double, and yeah, you could kill me, but you can't transfigure me. You don't have the technique. And Mahito gets hit so hard by this, and he starts running away. Meanwhile, Yuji pieces up Mahito in the most satisfying combo that, like, oh, I needed this so bad. Like, and so did Yuji. Yuji needed all this. And this is how strong Mahito is, even when he's split. Yuji is his natural enemy, and Mahito realized that Nobara's technique is also his natural enemy. Like, so Nobara's pretty strong as well. But Yuji is hitting him with the force of 1,000 typhoons. And, like, double, like, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Double punching him. And just everything. And Mahito is getting hurt, but he's still tanking it. And this is someone that can directly affect his soul, not just his physical body. It's the only way to hurt Mahito is to affect his soul. So that's how strong this opponent is, even when he's split. And the only reason he hasn't domained Yuji is because of Sukuna. So there's so much going on here. And just, he pieces him up, and I could live in this 45 seconds for forever. And he says, thank you, Kugisaki. I couldn't save anyone. I let everyone down. I let everyone die. But because of you, I don't feel alone. Oh my God. It hurts so much. And then the real Mahito starts running towards the double, and Yuji says it, and I thought it too, like, oh, they're going to combine and become stronger, you know, like, because the doubles hurt, the real ones hurt, but instead they switch sides. And someone pointed this out on Twitter, where they do exactly what Kugisaki and Yuji did against the paintings, where they switch sides so Yuji could face the stronger one and Nobara could face the weaker one because the poison was affecting her stronger. It's exactly what happened, is that the weaker one went towards Yuji because he's disposable, and the stronger one went towards Nobara because he does have the technique, and Nobara, while strong, isn't fast enough to always dodge. Nanami wasn't fast enough to always dodge Mahito like one touch. And it's a one complaint that I'll have about this episode. They don't animate this or illustrate this well enough of how fast Mahito is moving to get to her. I don't know if he should have like done some Stretch Armstrong thing that we've seen him do, but it seems like Nobara's like on game and on point, and then suddenly she's like Itadori and just like stands there and just waits for his hand to touch her face. And that's my only complaint of this one, because Nobara is combat ready. It's been said over and over again. She's a tough kid. She's a tough woman. Like I say kid because she's 15, but she's a tough woman. She's proven herself in combat. She's headstrong. She's smart. She plans ahead. She knows her technique. She knows how to use it. She knows how to use it against different enemies. And then she just stands there and takes like the face palm. And so I wish they would have animated it to where like she didn't have a chance to move out of the way. She couldn't move out of the way if she tried. Yuji, this, like, I said it last week, this, like, freak of nature athlete, even without cursed energy, so that's why he can move out of the way. But Nanami couldn't, and neither could, but they showed, like, him putting on hooves to, like, move faster to get to Nanami, and I wish they would have done something like that with Nobara. But she gets touched, and the scream that Yuji lets out when he says Nobara, run away is like, the animators need a raise, the voice actors need a raise, everybody in animation just needs a raise. They need a raise, they need livable wages, they need to be taken care of, because they are giving us such amazing art week in and week out. And we go into a flashback, and even someone like me that knows very little about anime, if I see a flashback, I don't like it. It's not a good thing for whoever character you're watching. And we see Nobara's childhood from her friend Fumi. And Fumi, you think it's like Nobara narrating for a second, but it's Fumi, but even she was like, I think everyone in this town is crazy. I hate living in a small town. And Nobara is playing video games with her dad. And it's a good line where it's harder to be strangers than friends in a village this small. And Fumi's like, isn't that a good thing? And then she realizes like the downsides of it. And then an older girl moves to town. She's in middle school, and Fumi and Nobara are like 5, I think, and the girl is in, what's her name? Sayori. Sorry, it was like the one name I'd forgotten. Sayori moves to town, and she's in middle school, and they become friends, and they go over to her house, and she never seems put out by them, and she's always happy to see them and makes them tea and snacks. But for some reason, the village rejects her and her family, because I think it's because her mom was like into spiritualism or, whatever, crystals, I don't know. She gets like kind of harassed from like her house gets like graffitied and trashed and like really serious stuff, so she has to move away. And like Nobara is not okay. She's really affected by this. But also like during this time, like Nobara like gets happier. She's smiling more. She's softer. And it's like quite an effect that Sayori has on her. And, we saw it in season 1 where she's like, I can't wait to see her again. Like, that's kind of why, like, a big reason why she moved to Tokyo was 1, to get out of the village, but 2, to, like, possibly meet up with Sayori. And as she's leaving, Fumi's like, well, is she going to cry for me when she leaves? Like, because Nobara's like, she's a tough girl. Tough chick. Yeah. And she's like, oh, she's not going to cry for me, and that's going to hurt. And Fumi's like trying not to cry but can't really say anything. And then Nobara's like, we're all gonna meet again. Come get out of this village, come to Tokyo, because I'm never coming back. And we're all gonna meet again. And then she starts crying. And then it goes to Nobara's point of view. Well, it goes to Sayori, who's like working in an office, like looks like she's some kind of like news reporter of some kind. Maybe like a newspaper journalist or something, and she's got like a deadline, and even her coworker's like, oh, something's going on in Shibuya, it might be terrorism or something. And she talks about these two girls that she kind of took in middle school, and the reason why she didn't give them her contact info was because she didn't want to like grow apart from them, and like she would have felt like that would have been worse rather than just severing the connection there. And that's painful, and she's like, I hope they're doing okay. I hope Nobara would be proud of me if she saw me, but I don't know if she would be. And it's just like, I didn't I can handle an anime flashback. I can't handle every other character talking about this character that we know is about to die and wishing the best for them. And then they triple it down by showing Nobara's point of view because of what she said with Yuji, where she's like, I don't make room in my heart for a lot of people, but sometimes people pull up their own chairs and, make room for themselves like you did. And you see her in an empty room with all of the Tokyo class, with Inumaki, with Panda, with Maki, with Fushiguro, with Gojo, with Yuji. And then there's so many empty chairs behind her. So many more people that she had room in her heart for. And you see Fumi there. And like it's like older Fumi, and then it's young Fumi, and then it's young her. And then the chair falls over. And I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And then she tells Yuji, tell everyone my life wasn't so bad. I'm just, yeah, not cool. It's tough, man. I really like Nobara. I love their brother sister dynamic that her and Yuji had, and it's great. And I really don't like that they killed her off. There's only so much that you can do to like build a character through death, and Nanami was good because like that's one of his mentors, and really looked after him, and like he was one of the people that was like, I want to give people a good death and I care about people. And Nanami was like, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you might have to let that go. But man, that was I don't know. But in a way, I do like that if you are not strong enough to go into a fight in this universe, you are not going to make it out. This is not My Hero Academia where the power of friendship is going to save you. Yuji has gotten saved by Sukuna twice. And that's kind of it. Or 3 times, because like he got saved by Sukuna with the special grade. Then Sukuna killed him, and then he took back over, and then Sukuna resurrected him and healed his heart. And then he saved him with Mahito like trying to touch his soul, and then he saved Nanami with the domain, same kind of thing. But other than that, like Megami would have died if he didn't release Mahoraga in front of Ponytail. Haruta is his name. If he didn't release Haruta, like if Sukuna didn't save Haruta and Mahoraga was about to kill him, would have both died. So it's like there's no coming back from a lot of stuff here, and I do respect the verse for that, but that doesn't make this death any easier at all. So yeah, this one really hurt, and yeah, I really thought we were gonna have this trio. Like, I don't know what this thing is doing to me. I don't know what this anime is doing to me, or what the point of all of it is. Like, I'm so down horrendous after this episode. Like Nanami I knew for a while, and so I could prepare. But even knowing a little bit in advance about Nobara, the way they did it, I didn't know all of that, and so it hurt so bad. And yeah, that sucks, man. and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep watching this season, and seasons after that, but that'll be a few years down the road. But just like, bro, y'all are killing me. Like, this is just pain, and everyone says it's only gonna get worse. Like, I don't know how that's possible, but okay, great, can't wait. Thank you guys so much for watching. I could go on this rant for so much longer, but you guys don't want to watch that. I'm just not okay right now, and that episode really messed me up. This is like Sasha level. This is like Sasha level. Because she was Sasha, like this goofy little girl who was a real badass when you put her to the test. And like Yuji is just like Connie and Jean. Big dummies, but badass when you put them to the test. And their friendship was okay. I'm done. Have a good day, guys. I'm so sorry. Great episode, but oh my gosh, make it stop.